right, what's going on, everybody?
Let's go.
Happy
Oh,
Sunday. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Uh, been a crazy week. What's
Yeah,
everyone
we
been
had
up to? since we left?
fight at the White House. Tequila. It's a good Sunday. I just had some tacos.
Barbecued.
Barbecued.
There
chill.
was a good fight at my organization last week.
Oh man,
It's better than the White House fight.
yeah.
Well, welcome back to the show. We have a special guest with us tonight. This is OniT The Disruptor. And OniT, you want to start? Where are you based out of?
I'm based out of, I guess you could just, in generalization, Los Angeles. Really, I'm from like the San Gabriel Valley area, but I've traveled around a little bit, just kicking it in different places around the nation and stuff. And so, yeah. But I'm from Monte.
Oh shit! No shit. That's where my ex-father-in-law is from. Monte.
No,
yeah. Yeah. He passed away like 2 years ago, though. But
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, I know he was a good guy. Rest his soul.
Ex-father-in-law is a mouthful.
It's
Like,
a whole mouthful.
And I'm like, well, I guess the connection was like severed legally, and so
we had some good times. All right.
Wow.
The memories will make up for that.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. So before we started, we were talking a little bit. I know both of you do stand up. Is that correct, Ellen? You guys both know from stand up, or is that?
Yeah, he's the guy who comes with the guitar and the musical setup, and I mess it up by telling really bad jokes. So.
Oh, your jokes are good. Don't worry.
That's not true. That's not true.
Good.
No. Like I guess I should speak about something. No, yeah, I'm just like I guess an upcoming singer-songwriter myself, I do have an album in the works, and I have some singles that I've released like on Spotify and or on everything, all the streaming stuff. You can find on Amazon Music, iTunes, Apple Music, Cubas, whatever it is that you prefer to listen to. And so it's just, you can find my music as OniT The Disruptor as my artist name. And I've been working on this project for about 3 years of just being a singer-songwriter, but going into a studio, tracking live instruments, and mixing and recording all the parts, and then also just doing all the vocal harmonies and lead singing and writing songs and doing it myself, and trying to work on completing my first album, so it's
Very
like
nice.
so just doing it all myself. But of course, you got friends that are, I have a friend that owns a studio that's a recording engineer, and he tracks it all. Then I got another friend of mine who I've been in bands with before, and he produces it all, helps me produce it, so, but it's me doing all the work,
Yeah, sometimes that's the shit. When you got to put in like all the work, and you got to really like just bet on yourself to get things done. I mean, that's I know how that can be, but I'm sure you've learned a lot of like lessons along the way too, right? Like how to basically, I guess, be dependent on yourself. Not only that, but like, have you like ever had like any like crazy experiences where like, I don't know, like I'm sure you've done shows where like have people like bailed out at the last minute or anything? Like, have you ever had like any crazy?
Well, I mean, yeah, like I've been a musician all my life since like age 6, and so like being 52 right now, it's just like I played in so many different types of settings and different genres and styles of music. There's been some crazy stories. I remember when getting my master's degree done, there was one weekend where I played 7 shows in 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
all with different groups and all different types of studying. Like I've had to change into two different types of tuxedos. You know,
That's what happens when you're a drummer.
yeah,
you.
and that's just it. I was the drummer. So you just like you're kind of like in high demand. I went from drummer to being percussionist to being orchestration type setting to doing playing EDM music like that same weekend and stuff. So it's like insane, like just the different genres, and then having to go into a different mindset of like, oh, it's this kind of music, and
Right. So
But-
you're having to like change like your environment. You're basically like having to change like your surroundings. And I'm sure
Yeah.
like I mean that's got to be difficult. I never thought about that for people that play in like multiple bands. Like every band you're in is probably different too. So like you got to be with a different cast of people, and then you got to learn how to. You basically have to learn how to become like a chameleon. You got to adapt to your environment. So.
Well, that I mean, if you're like, well, I only like this kind of music, and then that's going to limit you to just like really growing as a musician.
Right.
Me, like being a drummer, it's like I wanted to grow more as a musician. Because people are like, oh, you're a drummer, so you don't know how to listen. You don't know how to like. No, that's not true. I do more of the listening. I know, like I've done a lot of work to breaking the role as like, oh, you're just a drummer. It's like, no, I am the backbone of this song. I'm the guy that drives the bus when it comes to playing in a big band, of 21-piece big band. We're playing like everything from Count Basie to like something written by like maybe Chick Corea.
Hail to the bus driver.
Yeah.
Like a band kid, they do "Hail to the Bus Driver."
But
Hail to the bus driver,
then I've done gigs too where it's just like I've opened up for Lemmy of Motorhead and stuff and everything.
Cool.
Like,
Wow.
and you're just like, whatever. I don't care. I just love the environment. I love the energy. I love even like more working in school musicals for little kids in elementary school. I love being able to connect that energy and playing music and bringing people together and having a good time. That's the cool thing. And so now, from being such a drummer and supporting a lot of singer-songwriters, there's been a few bands that I've been in where like, it's just me and the vocalist, and we're sitting there together creating music together. It's like I understand where the songwriter aspect comes in. So at this age, as being OniT The Disruptor, now it's just like, now it's me, as selfish as that is, but yet I'm just like, I'm making myself vulnerable to the world now, like, because this is me throwing my art out there and criticize it, break it down, destroy it, or love it and worship it. I'm not saying to worship it, but just, just like if it does something for you, because I know every one of us that are here right now, we've all heard one song that has made such a difference in our lives.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. No, for sure. Like I could probably actually name a few.
What are yours, Eric? What are your
What's on my playlist?
Yeah, what's on your playlist?
You know what?
I'll tell you mine after you tell me yours.
Wow.
It's gonna sound crazy as fuck, and people are gonna say some shit like, "Oh, fucking this guy's a weirdo," whatever. Like,
is it Crazy Frog?
there's this Britney Spears song. There's this Britney Spears song. I can't remember the. We do this during karaoke night, and she's like, I can't think of the song title right now, but the lyrics go something to the effect of like, she's talking about like fame and notoriety, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't mean anything. But when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, fuck, man. Like, she's talking about, like, when you're, like, going through this change, right? Finding who you are.
I've seen Britney in concert.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I seen it. Was badass. I'm not going to lie. Like, I had a good time. I don't know. I had a good time.
What happened? What did you say before or after she was bald? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the hair thing.
No. It was before. It was before. No knives were involved. No knives were involved.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm all right with Bald Brittany. I feel like Bald Brittany that's like when the Britney bitch stuff started, you know, and that's when she went hardcore.
Brittany, bitch.
That's right. So on it, do you like so at this point you feel like you are at your zenith almost, like you're like at that peak moment where you're like you've discovered who you are. I mean, it sounds like you've been doing this a long time now. Do you can you recall any moment or like any specific like story that got you to essentially like where you needed to be right now? Like everybody has that moment. I feel like if this didn't happen, they wouldn't be doing. Like honestly, I'll tell you what got me here. Like we're doing this show now,
right?
With my friends, and like I mean, I was kind of hesitant towards it, but they kind of inspired me. They're like, "You got to get back into this podcasting thing." Like I stopped doing this shit about 2 years ago, but they're like,
yeah.
They kept going. I was like, you know what? I'll get back into it, but you guys should come with me because I feel like we can do this together collaboratively and make this a good show. And that's what we've been doing for like the last like month and a half now. So
no, cool, man. I think the one thing is just I just had an idea. It's like I just took a person to like get me to just like feel something and connect to something, and then all of a sudden like I just wrote these lyrics about this person, and then came up with this chord progression, and then I went to my friend who's a producer, said, "Look, dude, this is what I got." And he's like, "Let's track it right now." And then we did that, and we used electronic drums, and we just used everything that was kind of like digital for it.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. And then all of a sudden it's just like it kind of just like started to snowball everything, like avalanche everything, just kind of like yeah, no, I just got this spurt of like writing music, writing lyrics, and coming up with these chord progressions. And then I based everything on the different perspectives of love, because I had to just take a look at it and just like what can make me the most vulnerable and strongest person in the world. Is just like, well, just saying like, on how I want to make a difference, but on how I want to connect with people through music. I don't have to share my sad stories or my traumas or just my successes. I just want to be able to connect to people with music. And if it does something for them, cool. But then I also said, I don't want to be the drummer anymore. I want to be the guy. And it's like, I'm going to be the guy up in front. Right. So it's like writing all the music, creating it, doing the chord progressions, doing the guitar solos, singing all the harmonies, adding the orchestrations of the strings, and hearing like, oh, it's going to require this type of percussive instrument. You like really orchestrating, like using my schooling, but then also just like, well, what makes a song sound good?
Yeah, you're like putting in that missing piece you've been trying to like search for, and like, but also at the same time, like you said something that made me think, like you're going back to like, you're like, okay, let's get in and track this thing. Like sometimes you have to do that. Like you can't sit on your thoughts.
Yeah.
Get out, like manifest and make action and make things happen out there. Because if you sit on your thoughts, your thoughts are going to stay there forever. But I have to say, and I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, I think I asked you before we started this, like what with the whole thing with the black and white, and I can see it now. It's like coming out of the darkness to the light, like coming from the shadows and being, like you said, that front man. And I think that that's really cool. And I think that we should all kind of like aspire to be like that, because I mean, taking the back seat for so long, it's freaking terrible. I mean, I had to put in so much work to get where I'm at, man. And like, I do believe the hard work pays off. I don't know what everyone else feels like, but that's how I believe still. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean, and you kind of recognize like people that just like, like look at someone who starts their own business. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, it's not like they're going to be like, well, my dad gave me a small loan of $1 million. Well, fuck that guy. I'm sorry, excuse my language.
No, you can say whatever you want. This show's fine.
My idea is just like, well, no, like I've seen what loans I can take out, and I've written some grants, and I went and bought this space and refurbished it, and
You have a
done
piano in
some,
your background.
yeah, you just kind of just do it all yourself, like
Right.
I met a friend of mine who works in Oklahoma, and what he did was like, well, he was in the service, and then he went to school, he got his MA in psychology and became like a therapist, and he worked in like some juvenile halls, and then all of a sudden he bought a place. He like took out loans, he bought a place, and he built it into a physical like gym. He was also like into like he studied jujitsu and taught it and stuff. And so he would take kids out of the community that were in impoverished areas and stuff, and then he would like do therapy and then also train them how to defend themselves, in a way that wasn't like, no, you're not the attacker, you're defending yourself. Like just, and then he would make them go through these like training type camps where it's just like, we're going to run for 3 miles in the rain, carrying weighted vests and stuff, like just, like breaking them down and at the same time to empowering them.
He was pulling a Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's like that mentor.
Yeah, no, but it was cool because, as employment, I work as a clinician for a small mental health agency for kids out in the community. And I've been working with kids on probation and juvenile halls and stuff and group homes and everything for like 30 some plus years. And so when I met him, like I would do music with kids and he would teach them like jujitsu, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's a physical element in which you build a connection, but you have this like respect.
Right.
And so it was, and how we got onto this strange, but the whole idea is just like, coming back to being a musician. And he was kind of a musician too. And he always just like, dude, you're like doing your own thing. You're creating, like we were really supportive of each other and just had this great amount of respect. And the fact that he's like on like the Midwest in Oklahoma and I'm over here in California, it's just like on how like we just kind of connected and we just like have this mutual respect, like, yes. But when working with youth, and it didn't matter whether it was boys or girls, but it was working with youth, but then working and understanding, it's like we're trying to build people that can take care of themselves, but learn how to have the love and compassion to taking care of each other. Oh, my light just in my office went out, but it's cool.
Oh, that's right.
The light is dark.
The light's up and you're still on. That's
yeah. But it's cool though, like on how to have that connection when creating your own music and people that can feel it, you're just like, all right, cool, great. Like, I don't know how to use how to capture the right words, but like when I perform and sing and play these chords and all of a sudden, like you can feel their energy, their vibe. I don't know how to explain it, and it's just like, and it's not like it's more about like, I want to just build this bridge and I want to just make people have this experience, while I continue to exist on this fucking planet, I don't know what
sure. I definitely think that like the energy stuff you're talking about, the energy and the vibes are definitely real. I mean, I've been in places before where like the people in the building are making like the magic happen, where it's like it's not so much the performer, but it's kind of like a dance, like you're working with your crowd. And I'm sure stand-up's got to be like the same way, right? Like you could read the room.
Absolutely. I mean, Jim has his fair share because he will watch the crowd while I'm like performing, because I won't like look at anyone in the crowd except Jim, because otherwise I'll get really, really nervous. So I'll just look right at him because he has the phone also recording, which, I think I guess it's a good thing to look at like your audience on the phone. But other than that, he'll look at the audience and he'll like make notes about how people like react or make faces to certain things, which is super, helpful? How do you feel like that?
Yeah, it's
being
like
embedded.
it's like what you guys were saying, like about the vibe. Like there's definitely like when you walk into like a place, especially like anything like a bar or like drinking establishment, and especially when
Yeah.
you go to like a show like stand up or something. There's like an energy, like you can tell like when people like are generally like bored or just kind of like apathetic, and you can also tell like when they're really plugged in, they're really like kind of listening and vibing
Excited.
to like, yeah, exactly, like to kind of like, and it's just like it's so hard to like describe what it is, but you can kind of just like feel it in the air. Like on the topic of like stand up and everything, like we've gone to like other like stand up shows, like not like ones where she performs, like it's just we'll go see like a comedian, or it's just like an open mic. And there are some where like you can just kind of tell from like the energy they kind of bring, like going up to the stage, like it's just not going to be a good show,
or it's just negative. Very negative.
Yep.
Like not in a cool, moody, awesome like way. It's just they just negative, like alcohol.
It's hard. It's hard. Like I would think, as being a comedian, it's like you're going to a place and we're gonna put on a comedy show. I'm expected to laugh.
Right.
A lot of it is
I'm
like,
you're here to make me laugh, so make me laugh.
Exactly,
It's like
yeah.
dating.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Being a
no.
comedian is like dating a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of
randos.
expectations and bullshit, and their ex has like an 8-incher or whatever. You know what I mean? That's what being a comedian is like. Like you get up there. And you see these people, and they're like, you need to be as funny as the 5-second viral reel that I'm exposed to constantly. But people don't understand that, like, well, okay, like, I get it, that stuff's really funny, but that stuff is also hand selected by the algorithm and was deemed funny by thousands and thousands and thousands of people to show up on your algorithm on Instagram or whatever it is, right? Like, and it's curated and edited and all these things. Whereas, like, I think a lot of people, when they go to like a real raw comedy show, a lot of stuff doesn't hit. And I think a lot of comedians can't sit with this, but I think it's okay when jokes don't hit. For as much as I also like complain about, oh man, this joke didn't hit, I think it's okay because a lot of it too is like, I don't know, the experience of it, just sitting down and joking around with someone to feeling comfortable that like stupid stuff can be said. Because I think we spend so much of our lives thinking about, oh my gosh, what we're saying might make someone feel X, Y, or Z. And I think in comedy, it's super free. And in music too, where there's like no expectations of what is out there. It's just you, yourself, and you're presenting that to the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, it's I've never done a stand-up comedy, so I really tip my hat to you guys. I've never played in a fucking band, but I've done lectures. I'm not bragging about myself. I used to be pretty shy, but when I got into my organization, I had to start doing lectures in front of like large audiences. So there'd be times where I was speaking in front of like a group of 10. I've spoken in front of a room full of like 125, 150 people before. It's crazy. So I can't compare to you, for example, on it. Like you're saying, you've been opening for like Sublime and all these other bands. Like that is crazy to me. Like I've only done like a smaller crowd, but even then, it's like I don't know. For me, it's different. Like I don't really get like it. I feel like when I'm looking out into the sea of the people and like I can see faces, I feel a lot more comfortable thinking about it. Yeah, sure. Walking up to the microphone on the stage, kind of like fuck, but like once I get up there, it's like I like transform. Like I could like look at anybody and try to like just read these people from where I'm standing. But I also I don't know, like in the music world or like what y'all do, Ellen, when you guys are doing stand up, like I have a I guess you could say like a pre-show ritual I do. So like I'll sit and like I'll try to make myself laugh or get whatever emotion out I need to get to. Then I'll try to like reflect that off to the audience I'm going to speak to. I don't know how that works for you guys, but is there anything you do that like before you start playing a set in front of a group of people you're playing in front of for the first time that you do that like helps you warm up, or is there any like pre-show ritual that you can think of?
I mean, for myself, I just kind of I have to practice like my material, have it prepared, and then um like I have like my difficulties is just like, well, what do I say on the mic when I'm not playing?
The transition line.
For me to have to think that, compute that thought, and just be like, what is it that I'm gonna say when I'm not singing a song? You know,
This is
what
so
am I supposed to be? There's this notion. It's like, what am I supposed to be doing? You
Right.
know, because I'm not the drummer now. I'm the singer songwriter. I'm the front man. Like, what am I supposed to be? What is my persona? What is my energy? And I'm just like, and trying to just stop asking questions, and then I'm just like, well, just let it be who you are, you know, and just like, okay, am I gonna talk about the song? Am I gonna just take a breather and just maybe say something just like, have you ever thought of like what a caterpillar goes through? And then here it comes the next song, you know, just like kind of just what does it make people think, make people connect, feel, you know. I don't know. Like I don't want to predict on how my show's gonna go, but
Yeah.
I want to predict on how well I'm gonna perform. That's how it is. But like the other stuff is like, yeah, let it just be me. Let it be who, like as genuine and organic as I possibly can be, None of this like, what's up, Cleveland? It's like
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah. People try to.
whatever. I'm just at a brewery in Upland or a brewery in like, whatever open mics that I can do
Oh,
and stuff.
Southern California.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. But at the same time too, it's just like I don't take it for granted. It's like this is my opportunity, like it's just all right, cool. I'm gonna give a great perform. I try to do the best performance that I can and just be as genuine as possible. You know.
yeah, those are great. That's a great set of like rules to live by, I guess, because you can't. You're right. You can't control what's going to happen, but you can control like critique yourself. And I feel like a lot of times like that's where the biggest mistakes come in is like people we all kind of fear like self-judgment of ourselves. But like
Yeah.
I've done it. I'm not gonna lie, like I think I'm on good behavior. What do you guys think? I haven't really said a lot of F words tonight. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna go back
me
watch
either.
these tapes.
You know
I
what
think I'm the only one that said an F word
we
so
have-
far.
I think a lot of it is we have a guest because if you look at our like older videos, I like swear like a salty fisherman, which is it's really bad.
I went back. I was like looking at the transcript from all those. Like, oh, that's me. I can see like the star, like the cuss word I said.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm on my best behavior right now. That's what it is, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because like I haven't had enough tequila, but like, yeah. And what about you? You've been kind of quiet, Jim. How do you feel? Like you, I know you were a band kid back in high school.
Yes.
I was a band
Yeah.
kid.
Yes.
Um,
What did you play? Jim,
Auxiliary.
what did you play?
Saxophone and oboe.
Oh,
What?
cool. Cool.
We
Oboe's
gotta hear
really
these
hard to
stories.
play,
We gotta
man.
hear your
That's like
band camp.
Yeah, he's a certified klezmer musician.
No,
Nice.
it's hard. Yeah, it really was hard to study like back then, and it was expensive. Like the one read
Okay,
alone,
flex.
like run you. No, not even like this is just like it's hard to like budget for it. Like one
Yeah.
read was like $20, and it's like
I'm not gonna tell you how much I paid, like $18 for like a pair of drumsticks right now.
Oh yeah.
damn. It's
One
that.
one pair of drumsticks. Because I'm a picky bitch when it comes to playing drums. I have to have the,
Inflation.
But at the same time, it's like $18, man.
You gotta use those drumsticks for everything, man. You gotta use them to like consume food, like as like chopsticks.
And I got.
I thought you were talking like the ice cream drumsticks. That's what I thought.
Oh,
Oh,
You said
munchies!
food.
We got the munchies now. I'm just
I got
kidding.
the munchies, man. No, yeah. I mean, that's so. Wait, so Jimmy, you were in. Wait, did saxophone. What else did you?
And oboe, so kind of
Dude,
kind of all over the place.
I'll be real here, man. Saxophone players were always very like weirdly horny. I don't know. Being in band, just like the dudes who played alto sax, they had
Yeah.
like a vibe about them. That they just, they like what's his name? Kenny G or whatever,
Yeah.
like 80s, 90s. Yeah, like my mom, she loved Kenny G. She'd have those like 90s style like CD discs, and I'm like, "Ew, mom, why are you listening to this?
That is some
Like,
super horny
candles
music.
on, like scented candles. Like I don't like this."
That's
But yeah,
that's softcore music.
Yeah, this is uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really a band kid. I was like color guard, but I hung around all the band kids. So I don't know. Like you did band, you did concert band, you did kind of the whole 9 yards. Like how has being in band in high school like shaped your relationship with music? Because for me, at least, I kind of found like a lot of it to be a massive pain in the ass. Like a lot of it was like, oh, like you got to learn like the marching competition music so you can like do color guard in time with the music for marching competition. And so I never actually like started vibing with the music until after I left and was like, okay, now I have the freedom to actually listen to the shit I want to listen to. What about you?
Yeah, and you like the whole like you get like a deeper like appreciation for music, although like you definitely meet like a lot of interesting i.e. weird
Yeah,
people.
what about like the
like
chick
in
who gave
bands.
everyone like STDs?
Yeah, there's some weird people.
She played the clarinet, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Close. The flute.
She played the flute. Oh my gosh.
She played several
Flutes.
True. Not just the recorder.
Not just one. One wasn't good enough.
I wanted to ask on it though, just because I have never done like a sort of stand-up or open mic sort of thing, but like I accompany Helen a lot, right? And kind of seeing stuff from this sort of like observer or like spectator sort of perspective. I guess like when you go up and you perform, right? Like how exactly are you like how are you choosing like what's going first, what's going like second, like which songs are you playing, which songs like aren't you playing, like sort of what like what sort of thought like goes into that?
I recently played at the Inland Empire Songwriters Collective at the Laverne Brewing Company, and they give you like about 40 minutes of a slot time. So, and so like that's where I'm able to just kind of like, well, I'm gonna paint this picture as like how I want the music to flow, right? The energy and the vibe, and then it changes too, because they'll all ask like, hey, do you want to come in and join me, on doing harmonies on this or playing? I had a friend of mine who recently he plays harmonica, but then when we got together rehearsed, he actually pulled out a flute and played on one of the songs, with the flute. And I was like, holy shit, that just really changed the mood and like the atmosphere of the song as to what it provided. And so, I was like, okay, cool. Then it, like when you introduce new things or new ideas, you kind of work off of that feeling. So like to me, it's like I want to play songs that, that are energetic and just get people, all right, cool, like have a good groove. And then that's when I'll bring in the deep, kind of, I don't want to say moody, but just like, I don't know, just the stuff that just kind of deals with like relationships and heartbreak and also just like desires and temptations. It's rock and roll, like, but yet it's acoustic. But when I play it with the full band, it's really just like rock kind of feeling, but breaking the songs down to where they stand alone by themselves. You're just like, that's where you can really say like, well, it's me and my vibe, when it's a vibe of like, oh, I have a drummer and a bass player and a another guitarist, or and you're vibing off of them, and you're presenting this feel, and then but when it's just broken down, singer songwriter, it's me. And that's where it's like, okay, that's where you kind of just like say, like, how am I going to direct? I want to just like be as genuine and authentic. This is the mood I want to create. This is the feeling. And if people connect to it, cool. If they don't, well, that's cool too. It's just, but I look at it as like, I don't worry about what other people think either. I want to make sure the songs sound the way they're supposed to sound. That's what I go off. In a sense, I'm like a perfectionist like that. And at the same time too, like, I don't want to just share everything, with everyone when I'm playing,
I feel like musicians are very private people at the end of the day. Like, I feel like gone are the days of like bullshit tabloids talking about people's relationship drama for musicians. Like I would say like serious musicians who have musically complex stuff tend to be actually very private people. And I don't know, I find that like professional musicians tend to be super private. I grew up with a family friend, and their whole deal was they were a family of musicians. The mom, she was a DJ for KCSM, which is a famous jazz radio up in the Bay Area. The dad, he's a famous jazz musician, very popular in Japan, of all fucking places.
Sweet.
Yeah, the daughter, she was ragtime, random as fuck. And then the son was jazz drummer. Actually, he does a lot of drumming. And one thing I noticed was they were not huge personality people. They were actually very private with what they put out to the world.
Yeah.
Like, they had their persona, they had their character, and they had the energy, and the energy was definitely there. But they didn't talk about anything specific, which I always found to be interesting, and like something that I kind of started to derive or like look to personally, because I always feel like a little bit of discretion is fun and makes people and audiences kind of wonder what they're about. Yeah. How do you feel about that? Like, musicians and having very guarded private lives.
I think the artistry on being a musician is one thing. Like, if you're a singer, you have to have this voice that makes people feel good about themselves, and like they can build something off of it. If you're this person who in jazz is its own category, and own discipline, and very respectful, traditional type of style of music, because like, I'm not going to lie, when I began to do more jazz studies, when getting my master's and my bachelor's and master's, I really opened up on how a drummer isn't a drummer, but I'm going to play the drums like if I'm playing the saxophone.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be the bus driver, meaning like when you have a 21-piece big band, right, where my ride cymbal and my cross stick on 2 and 4 on the snare drum, that's going to lay the foundation for the entire band. And all our rhythms are going to be in sync with each other. And we're all going to sing the same offbeat eighth note, feel the same way. And so when it was like the band leader was gone for the weekend because he was doing his own gigs, and he was just like, you take over, telling me to take over and lead the band. I'm like, okay, cool. So then I was able to listen to like who's not in rhythm, but then I was also the type of drummer that was like, you're playing the wrong note for the chord of what the saxophones are supposed to be playing, like, and then all of a sudden it becomes this like, when you're playing jazz, it's like there's so much Western European, and then you're breaking the freaking rules to what we were taught by Western European colonizers. Not saying that Beethoven and Amadeus were wrong, right? But then all of a sudden, when you're taking the history and the teachings of jazz, it was a slave music, from West Africa, developed off of the blues into where it incorporated into New Orleans, and you had this like ragtime, and then you had this like developing it from the history of like when it was assimilated to being like, well, we're going to play danceable music, and then the musicians who were playing the dance music were just like, well, F this, we want to create our own art. And then you have bebop, and the bebop is like the stuff where, you know, Coltrane and Miles and Cannonball Adderley and oh god, what's the piano player's name? Well, you have Bill Evans, and then you have, you know, you got these guys that are just like breaking these boundaries and creating this art, you know. So when you say jazz is like it doesn't matter what words I use. It's what I'm saying when I'm playing the instrument.
Yeah, it's very genre expansive.
You know? And as me as a songwriter now, you know, what I want to share is a form of art, and a form of art where people can like take and look at it and be like, well, this is the vision that I have. This is what I'm seeing. Great. You know, cool. And not, you know, not have any judgment on it. Just like, yeah, go ahead. Cool. If that's what you're getting off of the song that I'm creating, good for you, you know. You know, whether people want to know like, well, what's the truth? What's the story behind it? Well, that's up to me to let you know. You know, that's all I can say. You know, I'm not gonna like ask a friend, you know, like friends of mine that are songwriters, and they asked me to play drums on them, and you know, and I'm not gonna like tear them apart and be like, hey, what's the meaning behind this song? I kind of already know because we're friends already. You know, when you work with a songwriter and they trust you to be part of their orchestration, it's just like, oh yeah, you know, you just kind of develop that communication. My friend Aubrey, her artist name is Aubrey Debauchery, right? But I've known her since like 2008, and I've recorded like about 3 albums with her. You know, I think the funny thing is just like we know each other so well. We're like musical soulmates. So it doesn't matter what song she pulls up or plays. I kind of know as a drummer on how to perform it. Right. You know, it's just kind of weird, like on how we kind of have that connection together. You know, we could be on opposite sides of the world, you know, because right now she's a tour tech for Lucas Nelson, you know, and does all the guitar tech work for them and stuff. And, you know, Willie Nelson's son. But it's cool because she'll be like, hey, Tino, I'm in town. Like, you want to get together and jam? And I'll be like, ah, cool, great. She knows me as my nickname and stuff that I go by and stuff. But
I love that example you used though, because like that chemistry you're talking about that you build with somebody that you trust, and like, I mean, I have that. I'm not in the music role, but like where I work, there's people like, not putting anyone down, but there's days where I'm like, fuck, okay, I got to work with this. Like I know our styles, but then there's days where I'm like, awesome.
Yeah, I'm with that.
The lights on. That was a clap on I just did. There's days where like I'm looking at the schedule. I'm like, oh, cool. I get to work next to so and so because I know this person so well. Like we could work together with our eyes closed, you know, like shit's gonna be done. But that is the coolest. I know what you're saying. That feeling is amazing when it's like you can work with somebody and build that relationship with somebody to where it's like you're just like you're born to work together with someone, you know. Like
it's weird on how like you can have. I don't know the science or anything behind it. It's just like I know the spiritual connection that it has, you know, and it's just like when you have that bridge with somebody, it's just like it's great when it happens, and it's great when you're have the time and availability to look forward to doing it again.
Oh yeah.
You know.
That's why most affairs happen in the workplace.
Most affairs, not all of them, but most of them.
Yeah. 80%.
That's what happens. Yeah, you build that rapport before you know it. You know, it's like, okay, well, I'm with this person 8.
What if they work from home? I'm just kidding.
Next thing you know, you're in the back freezer at the same time. Like, what's going on here? You know? Oh fuck. fuck, now I better stop. I'm not revealing any secrets on here. I've never done any of this shit I'm talking about. This is
It's all good, man.
it's all for entertainment purposes
good.
only.
I'm very professional. I'm good. Do you agree, Jim? Are you good
Yeah.
and professional?
She's
We're
great.
all good. We're all professionals.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you like, so it sounds like you've had a lot of connections with like opening for artists. So there's one thing I've always wondered, and that's like, do you, not saying you have to be unprofessional or anything, but like, just as we talked about, we got those that we can work with, that we work so well with, and like we have a
Who's a
chemistry. Who's the, like, yeah, we all have nightmares. We all have
Nightmare
people.
story. If you tell me a nightmare story, I'll tell you one about the ER.
No, no. There's been horrible experiences before. You know, I'm not gonna lie. You know, I might have been that actual horrible experience for some people as well, and everything. You know, it's just like there's been times where it's just like, you know, you play as when I was a drummer and as a jazz musician playing like, and you know, you get like the regular restaurant gig, right? And it's just like no one cares what you're playing.
Yeah, you're just the background music.
No,
like,
you're just background noise.
stars.
Besides the clinking of the dishes and silverware and someone scraping their teeth on their fork, you know, while they're eating escargot or whatever. Like you just don't really,
People burping and shit in the background after the
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And you're just playing the most crucial part on, like, you know, what would I say? After midnight, right? And it's just like the most crucial part in the melody of the song, and someone just like, oh fuck this, blah blah blah, and they just get really loud. And you're like, dude, like he was doing such a great job on the, you know, you gotta tolerate, you know, that type of stuff where people don't care whether you're there or not, you know. And then there's also the idea of what can I say? It's just like, you know, then the person's like, well, I'll pay you guys next week, okay?
Uh-oh.
Oh man.
And you're just like, are you kidding me?
The promoters.
Yeah. You know,
That's-
and then nowadays, you know, like back in 2000, like in 2000 and stuff, you know, to play a jazz gig for 3 hours for $100 was like not a bad idea. It hasn't changed though.
Oh man.
And,
Well, yeah,
and-
because that $100 is your gas. It's everything else, right? Your
Yeah,
room
you know,
tonight,
like-
whatever, your
like
meals.
someone asked me to go do a farmers market gig. That's about a 3 hour gig in the Santa Monica farmers market, right? And I'm just like, okay, cool. And they're just like, yeah, we'll pay you $100. I'm like, bro, you know, like I live in the San Gabriel Valley area. You want to pay me $100 to go play 2 hours worth of music? It's going to take me an hour to get out there to Santa Monica and then the park, and then it's going to take me 30 minutes to unload a drum set up, and then we play your songs, and then it's like I got to tear down. Hopefully, I'll get paid and then drive back. You know, I mean, it's just like for $100, you're looking at 6 hours worth of work.
Wow.
Of time, you know, and it hasn't changed. That's the I guess the horrible grind. And I get it, you know, musicians are trying to get the best they can, you know, but everyone is struggling, and that's what sucks right now. Everyone is struggling, you know. Like when I go into the studio, I pay my producer and I pay my recording engineer. I hire musicians and I pay them as well. And I let them know up front like how much work they're going to need, and this is what's going to, I prepare them for the work. You know, that's what a good band leader does. You know, I know when I was doing my master's degree, you know, I booked the college band at professional gigs, you know, and it was a matter of like, okay, cool. Like I would go to the venue and I talked to them, this is what we're going to provide, this is what's going down. And they were just like, okay, cool. This is how much we can pay you. I'm like, okay, great. Thank you. You know, like it was working within a small town, and then the other idea was just like, how you network yourself within the community, the music community. It's just like, I'm not here to put anyone down, but I want to make sure everyone gets their fair share. It's just, like artists should be getting paid for the amount of time and what they're worth. You just like it should, just like a person who we should have livable wages. We shouldn't have to, households shouldn't have to be working 3 to 4 jobs just to pay rent and get by. It's ridiculous.
No, I agree. It's getting so ridiculous, but like keeping it like in connection with the music industry, like I said, I don't know a lot about it. I'm not from that world, but like I've watched videos of like mainstream artists. They're like, fuck, like they're regretting signing to some of these labels they signed to, because even up at the top, you're thinking like, oh, these guys are on a tour and blah blah blah, but then at the end of the day, it's like, okay, the label still technically owns your name. They know they like they're keeping tabs on you. Everything you do is kind of essentially owed back to them first, because you're a part of this major label now that you're indebted to essentially. And it's like, yeah, I don't know where the medium is on that, but like, I guess I don't know. I mean, there has to be some kind of fix to that, though. Like you said, I agree. I think that like anyone out there listening, I mean, shit, tip your local musicians or whatever you can do, right? Do something good for them. I mean,
yeah. I mean, like there's bands out there that I know and that are friends of mine, like Pat Todd and the Rank Outsiders. Pat Todd's been doing this music for years, and as a songwriter himself, he's been able to go to like do national tours. He's been able to go to Europe. He's been able to go to Australia and everything, but he's also been able to take the full band and they all get paid for it.
oh.
Yeah, they get their meals, they get a place to sleep and stuff like that. They get backline to set up all their gear for them, provide it. So, they're not as, because I've done tours like Japan and England, and it's been like, okay, you pack as little as possible, but you got to guarantee the rest of your gear is going to be there. That's the one thing, and most bands like, they have to sell merch, and me as a songwriter right now, well, I don't have any merch because like, I played these songwriter shows and some people have been like, well, do you have a CD? I'm like, what's a CD? Everyone streams everything nowadays, me. Yeah. I'm like audio cassettes and vinyl and stuff like that. But, when I complete the album, I'll have probably some vinyl pressed and maybe I'll make some CDs. I don't know. But that's just it. Like I got to budget everything for that, pay for it.
How's your progress coming along so far in your album production?
With production, it's great. Like I could see how close I am after 3 years of working on it, and I see how close I am, and I still like I'm like maybe 2 more songs from recording the entire album.
That's close.
But it comes down to like mixing, mastering, all that stuff too as well. You have to listen to it in your car. You have to listen to it your home stereo. You have to listen to it in your iPods. You have to listen to it like, hey, I'm going to go to Best Buy and sit at the whatever entertainment system and get online and play it through their big ass loud system, and then walk outside and there's OniT The Disruptor being played, whatever.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like it's I don't know. I kind of like growing up, and I have no problem saying this. I mean, this place is not even around anymore. I'm not going to get any kind of liability for this. Hope not. Knock on wood. I used to be one of my first jobs was I was a manager at a video store. Like most kids nowadays don't even know what a fucking video store is. I mean, that's a foreign like thing to say to a youngster now. Like they don't know what a rental is or anything. So like VHS. I managed this video store. Yeah. I managed this video store, and like I remember when the Red Box first came out, and like that was the shit that was going to be the death of us. Like everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you don't need to deal with people anymore." But I remember I went to this convention up in Oregon. That's where we were based out of,
Okay.
I remember going up there and like the red box person or rep or whoever was there, they're showing off the box and they're like, "Oh, this is going to be the future of movie renting." And I was like, I had a bunch of questions. I'm like, this fucking thing, it can't answer people's questions. It can't make recommendations. It can't ask you how your fucking day is. You know, I can't talk to you. And sorry, you can tell I'm getting passionate. I'm starting to use those foul.
No, I get it. I get it.
But no, it's like, so I understand what you're saying. You need that people connection. And like, I'm not putting down AI or any of this stuff, but like,
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
AI need to go and pee.
You gotta go pee.
Yeah.
She's gonna step out for a moment, but
I'm good.
no, I mean, I don't know. Like, what's your take on that whole AI thing? You think it's
Well, here, the idea is just like I come from an upbringing of music where I didn't have a laptop when I started my bachelor's degree, but I did go to the computer lab at the college library, and I would walk there, and I had the 3/4 inch floppy disk, and I would do all my reports and everything. Getting my master's, I had to research articles not just in America but in Cuba because of what I based my degree off of. And I had to find these articles, and then I would rewrite or interpret them because they're all in Spanish. To when I had to discuss what I was talking about towards my master's. Like everything I had, like I didn't have the internet as much. I didn't have this thing, the cell phone. Whatever. Just like I did have a cell phone. It was an Nokia 1306 that had Minesweep and Snake on it or something like that.
Yeah, Snake.
Right?
Yeah,
and I could take these pixelated pictures, that. But the whole idea is just like it, like it's a different type of work that I had to do, And so when I came to writing music and orchestration, I had 5-line manuscript paper that I hand wrote all my scores down on. I didn't have a computer to print or computer software to print everything. Like I did all that. I remember one of my teachers, when he went to UCLA, and he went into the score room and Henry Mancini was one of the compose or writers that had a bunch of his scores at UCLA. He pulled out one of his scores and he got a pencil and he erased one note off of it. Off of like Henry Mancini's scores, right? And then he wrote the note back in. He's like, "Holy shit, this is the actual legit thing." But that was just it. Like I grew up, or not grew up, but I was mentored in a way. It's like you handwrite everything, not just like everything's done. Now, I've seen posts of like guest speakers at prestigious colleges and stuff, and it's like, oh, you can download this app on your phone that creates this music that you wanted to blah 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 blah. And I could just look at the person that's just like, well, I just learned how to score everything on manuscript paper, and you're using AI app.
Yeah. I mean, that's the sad part. Like you were just talking about handwriting everything. I mean, it's sad. Like most of the youth now, I don't even think they teach cursive anymore. People don't know how to sign anything.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just like, we're dumb. It's like we're dumbifying everything. Like like I think AI is taken to the point where it's like it's taken in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Where it's just like I thought AI was supposed to help improve people's lives, not destroy it. But I really know. Like now you have these like, and I hate to say it because I worked with so many like these guys that are creating these AI fabricated women,
What?
or fabricated men.
Is this real?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's a reality that like the perversion that people are taking is like Like, I don't care. You could be a freak in your bedroom between you and your significant, like whatever. But then it's just like, oh, we'll just create these artificial things to do. Like, I just think it's just bad. It's just bad.
AI generated like partners. Oh, that's where we're going. That is crazy. I didn't even know that was happening. Honestly, that's
I don't know. But that's just me as a person. I can't. I mean, I'm gonna say like I'm not. I'm like we should just be able to like walk outside our house and throw our cell phones away and like I'm just gonna go at my local watering hole and have a fucking beer and talk to people. And that's about it.
yeah.
I miss going to libraries, but the libraries are pretty much disappearing.
Oh, tell me about it, bro. Even here, our library's been closed down. They said they were renovating it. They never opened that shit back up. It's been closed for
like mom and pop shops. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like in my hometown, they want to like add a what is it? A Dutch Bros, and they want to add a Raising Canes, and they want to add an In and Out. And I'm just like, why? Why not promote like the local, Mexicano restaurant that just has really great food and just like allow them to expand their business. I don't know, like just like the good things that about what's happening locally.
Well, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like working hard, but then there's people that like kind of it's generational wealth or whatever, like nepo babies and shit. Essentially,
right.
Like saw his commercial. I was at a friend's house earlier, and it was like it was a financial advisory commercial, and the guy was like, "Oh, most people nowadays don't know about financial advice, and like getting rich is not." Well, it's easy for you to say, Mama, because you probably like got it given to you. You know what I mean? Like that's the real secret. I mean, if you work hard, sure, I always learn there's two ways to get to the top of something. You could either climb up or you can like take the shortcut like an elevator or something. Like there's always the stairs though, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what it is like with the business mentality, like the whole idea of capitalism right now and colonialism, and just like on how me, like it's very scary on just like, look, we have a trillionaire now.
Yeah.
We have our very first trillionaire, and there's millions of kids starving in the freaking world, but we have a trillionaire.
Yeah. I mean, or like these people buying like these like 60-room mansions and like they're like a single family, like no kids. Like, look, you need all these rooms for, right? I mean, shit.
We have concentration camps disguised as detention centers, right? And I'm just like, like I've worked with families, and my job is a mental health provider, in which they're partners or significant others where they've been detained and stuff now, and the kids have been traumatized and just like, I've had my own personal encounter with ICE officers trying to like question me and taking me and stuff like that, and but I've been dealing with, as a person that's of an ethnicity, I've been dealing with that shit all my life. I'm sure most of us have too, it's just kind of weird, but but it changes when you go to a different country.
Right. Do you think some of your experiences
it's only here? It's fucking crazy. It's only
here. No, for sure. Do you feel like some of your experiences help craft this album you've been working on, or?
I think the album has been a very way on how to allow me to communicate the importance of love, on how to balance out the differences between temptations and lust and desires, and then also just to practice empathy, to practice gratitude, and then at the same time too, just build my confidence and just be like, I don't give a shit what anyone else says. I'm gonna cause the disruption. You know, I'm not afraid to go in there and break something down. You know,
That's fucking awesome. I love that. Honestly, I feel that right now. Like I haven't heard the album yet, but I've always been I don't want to say I've been the rebel, but like I've always been the person that's like I don't play well by rules. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't. Like I think I don't believe like in ceilings, like we were talking about kind of earlier. Like I think that we all have a potential, and sometimes we become our own worst enemies, and we hold ourselves back from what our full potential are because we're too worried about how we're perceived, how we're viewed, how we're like.
Yeah.
There's nothing I don't feel like we can't accomplish or do or become. You know, so I really like just want to say thank you for. Power and love. That's right. Thanks for spreading.
Yeah, for reals.
All right.
So, real quick though, before we move on, I just wanted to. This is OniT The Disruptor. I want to thank you for being with us tonight. But
thank you so much for this opportunity. I mean,
for anyone out there listening, where can we like find you? Do you have any social media accounts?
Yeah, you can find me on the Instagram, you know, with OniT The Disruptor. That's the name I go by. There is a Facebook page as well. I do have, I mean, as far as like I'm streaming, I'm on all the streaming apps and everything. You know, you could just type in OniT The Disruptor and then I'll pop up in Amazon and iTunes and Apple Music and Spotify, stuff like that. I have 2 singles out right now and also a 4-song EP. I'm not going to release anything else until I have like the full album done.
Well, shit, I wish you the best out there, and I can't wait to hear it. I would love to come back and hear it. We got to definitely have you come back on here so we can talk about the album after it drops.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm really grateful. I appreciate you guys. You know, it's just like, and I understand, like, you know, us as artists and trying to just get out there. It's like, yeah, it's a community. You know, everything is community right now. That's the most important thing.
Definitely. And we support our community, man. Like I gotta say, I do. Like everything we talked about, I fully support. Like, come back. We're gonna show nothing but love, and we're gonna get everything like that we need to get out, and we're also gonna spread the message out to the greater community. I think that's giving back, you know. So
yeah,
much appreciated.
Oh yeah.
All right. Till next time, y'all.
Next time.
Next time. We'll have some more profanity on here. I'm just kidding.
I think there are 3 F-bombs. I was very PG-13 today because my BAC was below like what 0.03%. I think it was the hefty meal and everything else that did it. But next time,
I went to this place called Nova Brewing Company. It's in Covina, and it's all like Japanese brews and sake.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, it's off of San Bernardino Road in Covina. Check it out, Nova Brewing Company. It's
Nova
really
Brewing?
good. Yes.
I'll be in SoCal soon. We got to check that out.
Yeah. No, it's really good. I'm just saying.
For sure. Well, hey, thank you so much.
Yeah,
looking forward to maybe that'll be my next trip to SoCal. Maybe I'll come out and check out one of your shows or something like that. That sounds like
do it up, man. Do it up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Everyone.
We'll say goodnight to everyone.
Take care, everyone. Have a great night.
Yep.
See you.
Yes, indeed.